The next thing that I want to talk to you about is unseen parts. For example, let's say you're making this taco. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. Let's say you're making this taco. So I'm going to make a mini one here. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one large tortilla, and I'm going to think about it the same way that you would cook a taco. So maybe you're going to make a large tortilla, and then you're going to stuff it with things, and then fold it up so that it's a taco. Now, the stuffing, though, in the middle, I only have to worry about the texture along the outside. So maybe a better way to do this is to take a shape like this and turn it into that semicircle shape. See, I'm rolling it to get it to be that shape. And then what I can do is I can take one of these wire end tools and I can carve out just a little bit . And smoothing it out. So now I'm leaving this part here and this part here become my shell. And then I only have to worry about the texture here. So maybe that's where, so what I'm going to do on this end, maybe I'm going to put a bunch of vinegar here. And then I can make all these little tiny nuggets and press them on. Fill up that space. If you need more vinegar, certainly use as much as you need. And filling up that space with all these little nuggets. I'm not even close to being done yet. I want to really fill it up. And then it will give the illusion that this goes in deeper. You can always add more on top of it. If your hands get too wet, you can wipe them on your smock or right on the placemat. And that's going to then give the idea that this is full, because you're going to do it on both sides, right? And then when I get up to the part where I have a different kind of texture, I didn't really get up there yet, but we'll pretend, then that would go on like that. And then when you glaze it, then it'll look like something else. So now maybe I need more like worms kind of a thing to look like lettuce. And of course you would use the vinegar to attach it. I'm just trying to speed this up a little bit. So do you see how having different textures, I have the little ball area here for the meat, I have this smoother area here for some sour cream, then I have pieces sticking out, long little worms looking like the lettuce. Then as I get up to the top, I can add the cheese and I can make little chunks for the tomato that are more like shapes. You can add those on top so that when I glaze them, I'll be careful to only get the red on that part. and there I'll have a taco. You'll of course make it much larger. This idea would be great also for something like a cannoli. When doing the waffle, you can use these tools again, but you want to find the one that has the right shape so that you can carve out all those little boxes. And then you'd have the idea for the waffle. And then as far as adding all these berries, I will say to scratch and attach them on, or use the vinegar, really use the vinegar, because otherwise you'll have pieces rolling around the kiln and you'll lose them. So that's basically in a nutshell how to do different techniques. You want to make sure that you start with your basic form. You want to think about how are details going to be added to your project. Are you using vinegar to attach? This is really securely on. You want to think about the texture of all the different foods and create texture in your work. Are you making one solid piece, or are you making separate layers that are going to be fused in the glazing process? Are you wasting time by making everything that's not going to be seen, or are you being clever and only doing the parts that you're going to see? Now two last things I have to show you is the problem with a block of clay like this is that there's clay all the way on the inside that will never feel air, and it will stay moist all the way on the inside, even if on the outside it looks dry. And then what happens is when you put that into the kiln, that clay will explode because the water in the clay will expand as it heats up. And if it has nowhere to go, boom, everything's going to explode around it. So what we need to do is be a little sneaky, and we're going to hollow out the underneath side using these tools that are called loop tools. This one may not be the best shape. I have other ones in the classroom that are better, but to show you, you just slide this through and it will pull out all this wet clay. You want to leave the sides a substantial thickness so that they can support the size of your project. Don't make them too thin, but you have to really dig in and hollow out that clay. On this piece here, this one I was trying to make a slice of pie, so I was thinking about the details on the top, like the woven crust. I was trying to make it look like cherries on the side or blueberries. I haven't yet finished having the crust look like it's coming over it a little bit.